We are your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. And this is Joy News Prime with me, Samuel Kojo Brace. In our headlines, uncertainty hangs over the fate of cocoa bill holders as they are unsure when Cocoa Board will pay them their maturing bills. We'll tell you the chilling story of one of the bill holders who says the unpaid coupons are straining his life.
Been easy. It's not been easy. I've got a kid in school, in the university, and I have medical bills I have to take care of. We have the house I have to take care of, and it's not been easy.
In this bulletin, we would examine the impact this has on Cocoa Board and the economy of the country in general, and the role the Securities Exchange Commission in all of this. Now, also, we are not aware of any contract awarded to SML Petroleum Commission and its sister agency, Minerals Commission, say they played no role in the award of controversial gold production sector revenue assurance contract to Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited. And months after government forced many Ghanaians to link their Ghana card to their SIM cards with a promise to flush out scammers and fraudulent activities, many Ghanaians continue to reel from the menace. Now, many hospitals in Ghana face issues related to outdated infrastructure, inadequate facilities, and a lack of essential medical equipment. This hampers their ability to provide efficient and quality healthcare services. The first episode of our latest series, Sick Hospitals, will focus on the situation in Sandema. We have accepts.
So can't you see, mommies and puppies, the sweat, you know that this be like the ice to your chest. So can't you see?
It is an ultimate walk of shame for any visitor to the Sandema Hospital in the Bulsan North District of the Upper East region. If you were blindfolded, dumped here in the corridor, and the cloth is pulled from your eyes, you could never guess that this place is a hospital. The walls are dirty and the paint almost peeling off. The ceiling is moldy, greenish brown and rotting away. The corridors are dark and dingy. The medical superintendent of the hospital, Dr. Emmanuel Opoku, is unhappy with the state of the hospital, but he's also very worried about the safety of nurses and patients because of the gaping cracks in the walls.
When it rains, almost all the walls leak, including the medical soup's office. And during rainy seasons, it makes seeing patients very difficult because sometimes you need to get to a safe place to cater for the patient. And we'll be grateful if we could get help.
As the head of the facility, he works with a news team to show the dangerous state of the facility. A substantial and alarming crack traverses the length of the wall, extending from floor to ceiling.
So this was formerly used as a dispensary, but because of the nature of the cracks, they have to move to the other side.
How many times, on a hospital, they kill instead of safe. Sick people, they stay.
Every part of the almost 94-year-old hospital leaks badly.
Why are you still working in a place that you don't feel safe? And if I ever had an accident or something happened to me and I need to visit the hospital immediately, this is where I'll be rushed to. I will just quickly rush into the consulting room 1 to see exactly what is happening there.
This room is where patients receive care from doctors and physician assistants. But a cursory glance shows the room is not hospitable. Just like the corridor, the walls are crying for a fresh coat of paint. The leather upholstery of the chair for patients is badly torn, exposing a dirty brown cushion. The state of the furniture is so bad that you would rather consider standing to receive diagnosis. The floor tiles are broken, weak, and unsafe.
The Sick Hospitals airs tomorrow on the Joy News channel. Please do. Now, the fate of some cocoa bill holders who decided not to participate in the government of Ghana's cocoa bill exchange program hangs in the balance as they are unsure when Cocoa Board will pay the maturing bills. They are demanding Cocoa Board honest payment of the bills before the close of January. They say the inability of government to pay them their money is affecting their livelihood. James Eshan visited Echikwam, one of the cocoa bill holders, and has come through with this.
January 2023, monies paid to investors who purchased cocoa bills on maturity were withdrawn from individual investors' accounts without their consent. Cocoa Board issued the bill to raise funds. Many had bought the bills expecting to be paid back their monies with interest on Thursday, January 19, 2023. Reports from some fund managers indicated the monies were actually paid on Thursday, January 19, 2023, only to be reversed on Friday, January 20, 2023. The banks have pointed to a directive from the Bank of Ghana ordering them to unilaterally roll over the bonds without first seeking the consent of investors. Banks were under pressure from affected customers. Echikwam, a retiree, was one of the affected customers. He expresses shock at the development since the money was rolled over without his consent.
I worked for 36 years. I started at GB Olevant and then went to Unilever. Then I went to Unilever in Zimbabwe. Then I came back to Guinness in Ghana. Worked for a short time. Then as for the investments, one can say I've been investing for a while. Treasury bills, fixed deposits, and all those things. And it's only recently that we took the cocoa bills.
6 months after the Ghana Cocoa Board launched a debt securities exchange program, under which it invited holders of its short-term debt securities or the cocoa bills to voluntarily offer to exchange their cocoa bills. Cocoa bills holders were asked to sign on to the exchange program, but Echikwam opted out.
As part of my retirement, I got a certain amount and I put it there. If we were in another place, and then they came and made another proposal to us, which was interesting. So we moved our funds there. And we were supposed to enjoy our benefit plus our initial capital in January 20. Yeah, that was in 2001. 2023, yeah, 2023. So we were waiting. Then we had some hints that something was up. So we wrote to them and said, look, sell our thing and give us back our investment. Okay. And they said they would try. So come the payment time, I saw that the money had been credited to our account in the morning. Before I could say Jack, it had been debited again. So we were rather surprised. And apparently this debt recovery program had been launched. So we didn't know what was going on.
Almost 6 months after, no communication on the payment for those who decided not to tender. Echikwam and wife, amongst others, are worried why government and Cocoa Board are failing to honor payments of those who failed to tender their cocoa bills after government pegged the participation in the exchange program at 97%, with over 7 billion Ghana cedis bills tendered.
We have been extremely successful with the current tendering of more than 90% for cocoa bills of 7.9 billion cedis and US dollar exchange of $809 million. And detailed announcements will flow through when the settlements are done.
According to Gifty Kwam, wife of Echikwam, footing the bills of their ward in the university has been very difficult.
I think it's morally wrong. And in fact, it's legally unacceptable, you know. I mean, the trauma even to our children who have to even go through all kinds of things and explanations. It's not right because they know their parents and they know we planned for them, you know. So I'm begging the ministry to pay us our money. That's all. It's our money. You rolled it over without our consent and with your own interest rates. Fine. You give us our money back. Give it to us. That's all we're asking. It's not right to keep it.
The family is in total disbelief and wants their monies to be paid or a communication from the Cocoa Board or the Finance Ministry.
Well, it's not been easy. It's not been easy. I've got a kid in school, in the university, and I have medical bills I have to take care of. We have the house I have to take care of, and it's not been easy. So every month we try and see what we can do, but it has not been easy. And yeah, that's it. It has not been easy. So that's why we keep going to them to try and get them to tell us if anything is going on, you know. But we don't get any proper feedback.
I know you are not the only one being affected by this, but do we have other groups who are also complaining about similar situation?
Well, really, yes, there are other people also going through this. I know there are, I don't want to mention names, but there are other people who are going through similar challenges. I know some people have died because of it. I know some people who are very sick. I know a lot of other people. But this one is, you have to cry for yourself because the way it has been done, we don't get together like the previous guys got together to stage a demonstration and all that, because really we don't know ourselves.
It's a very stressful situation to go through at this time when my husband is on retirement and actually not that well, you know.
Is it a joint investment between you and your husband, or it's just?
Yes, it's his investment plus mine put together, which we invested there. And, you know, we looked for the best option because it's like a pension stuff. We looked for something that had zero risk. And at the time, I mean, who would have thought that cocoa bills will have issues?
Cocoa bill holders, just like the Kwam's family, are asking for an update on payment for those who decided not to tender their cocoa bills. James Echen's report for Joy Business.
Well, lead data analyst here at Joy News, Isaac Kofi Ajay, joins me in studio with more on this particular story and all of these issues surrounding the cocoa bills. Kofi, when was this launched? And, you know, how long did it take for the government to reach an agreement with these holders?
Kojo, we are talking about between July 2023 and September 2023 that holders of the cocoa bills, we should know that these are not bonds. This, in fact, is the only treasury bill, because it's a short-term instrument, that was included in the whole domestic debt exchange program. All other T-bills were excluded. Now, if you look at the total amount involved, we were talking about, you know, some 7.7 billion Ghana cedis that the government, 7.9 billion cedis that the government earmarked for restructuring. And when they were done, they realized that, I mean, if you look at the next slide, the participation rate was so high that you see a participation rate of about, you know, 97. That was actually the highest. Okay. If you look at it, it was around 97%. And so if you strike the difference, then there you go, 97.4%.
For the cocoa bills.
For the cocoa bills, 7.9 billion earmarked for restructuring. 7.7 billion went into the restructuring. So we are talking about some 200 million Ghana cedis that did not go into the restructuring process. And we believe that that is where Mr. Echekwam's money actually is. They refuse to participate in the restructuring. And we understand that government made this whole exercise voluntary, that if you can't participate, do it. And remember, it's exactly a year ago that the Bank of Ghana, I think they instructed the commercial banks to pay exactly those who were holding retailers to pay the bills. And people are saying these are not bonds, these are treasury bills. So imagine what can happen if those who are actually now rushing to buy T-bills when the rate is as high as 29%, 30%. Some day to come, you are called to come for exchange, to come and exchange your bills.
That's if we'll get there.
Exactly, because just like he said, this is a 0% risk. We all know in economics class, business class, you are told that government instruments, they come with low risk.
Yeah.
And for a pensioner like him to buy, I don't know the amount he bought, but you could see that the magnitude in there is huge and it has affected him. And even if you got the portfolio that did not go into the restructuring process, 200 million Ghana cedis is such a huge amount of money. They were enjoying somewhere around 15, 13% on their coupons. And that should tell you how significant the debt is. And in fact, if you take away the Bank of Ghana that participated 100%, the cocoa bills, in terms of the participation rate, was the highest in the second round of the domestic debt exchange program.
Interesting. All right, so that's, Isaac Ofiejede. Now, during the time of exchange, we know that, there's some over 7 billion cedis that was involved.
Absolutely.
Now, Cocoa Board declined comment on this issue when Joy News reached out to them, but my colleague Elton Brobe has been digging on the subject and joins me via Zoom with more. Elton, what are you learning on the subject?
So what we've been trying to do all afternoon is of the claims by Mr. Echikwam and the family about why the Cocoa Board is, refusing to pay them either the principal or the interest that have accrued on their investment. Now, what we've been told is that Cocoa Board launched a debt security exchange program to restructure about 7.9 billion cedis. Now, under this program, Cocoa Board invited holders of the short-term debt securities, that's cocoa bills, to voluntarily offer to exchange their cocoa beans for longer-term debt securities with averagely lower coupon rates. Now, holders of cocoa bills whose offer, according to Fobisha Peckham, were accepted by Cocoa Board, received 5 new bonds, which would mature in 2024. And I'm told that the first maturity will be in March 2024, some 2 months away. And then there's 2025, 26, 27, and 2028, with the hope that by 2028, they will have resolved this matter once and for all. The new bonds, according to the information we are getting from Cocoa Board, comes at a coupon rate of 13%. Now, they say that the successful completion of this aspect, Cocoa aspect of the domestic debt exchange program, was very crucial to the country's quest to restore debt sustainability, which became critical component of the IMF program. Now, as per the IMF methodology, as was explained in their staff report published in May 2023, Cocoa Board bills were included in the public debt and contingent liability on government debt profile. Now, remember also that the chief executive of Cocoa Board, Joseph Boahenedu, in a letter said the objective of the cocoa bills exchange was reduce the excessive burden created by the short-term cocoa bills and put Cocoa Board on a path for financial sustainability in line with targets defined by the IMF staff, arrangement. So, to alleviate the debt burden of Cocoa Board in the most transparent, efficient, and expedited manner, this debt exchange program, according to them, became very necessary. So, more like the burden sharing that government announced at the start of the debt exchange program. This is Cocoa Board, but what they are saying is that in March, in 2 months' time, 2024, in 2 months, they will start the payment of monies that are due for people whose bills are matured.
Let's bring in a financial consultant on this development. Richmond Kwame Frimpong is the advisory board chair of the Financial Literacy Africa, and he joins us on the telephone line for more on this. Grateful for joining us. How can holders of cocoa bills seek redress?
Right, thank you, Kwejo. So this is a bit unfortunate because at the moment there is a lot of effort going on to correct the the difficulties and the liquidity challenges that the entire financial sector experienced during the DDEP. And if you have followed the news, we are just on the verge of closing out on the external creditors so that the second tranche can happen. And the bond market is just about picking up from the difficulties it experienced in terms of secondary trading and all. And that occasioned and made it a bit more challenging for people to even believe in investing. So we notice that the focus on treasury bills lately has increased. Now, if Cocoa Board is challenged as an issuer, and in this particular instance, Cocoa Board is unable to honor those who voluntarily did not accept to do the exchange. I mean, if you look at the equation of those that were even successful and those that were not, you notice that those that did not tender in were largely retail investors, and the amount is possibly less than 4-5% of the total bills that were exchanged. People who did investment have a way out. I think they should be able to petition either the Bank of Ghana or the Securities and Exchange Commission about this potential default so that something can be done about it.
We understand that they've petitioned the SEC, but SEC is dragging its feet on this matter. Is there any way out for them?
Well, the quite unfortunate next step will be legal, because then it will be another default situation. It's true that the issuer may not be directly central government, but because Cocoa Board is a public institution, and usually even the issuing through the central bank, it has implications even on government default ratings by some of these debt rating agencies.
Okay.
So I think if we are not careful and it becomes legalistic, and these people take on the legal arm, it may change our rating negatively and even affect our state as a country.
All right. More to come then. Grateful for joining us, Richmond Kwame from Paul there. Now, we are not aware of any contract awarded to Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited, SML, an offshoot of a timber company, to undertake revenue assurance services in the oil and gold production sector for the government. That's the position of two regulatory bodies, the Minerals and Petroleum Commissions. Now, on the part of the Minerals Commission, it says, quote, it did not play any role in the award of the contract, unquote, to SML. Chief Executive Martin Kweku AEC, in a response to a right to information request from the investigative journalist Manasseh Azure Awene of the Fourth Estate, who led the SML investigation, also said the commission does not have any report of losses resulting from the deliberate or accidental calculation as far as revenue in the mining sector is concerned. Joy News' Michael Ashley has more details on it, but we have Blessed Soga with a copy of response from the Petroleum Commission and the queries raised and the responses so far. Blessed, the Office of the Special Prosecutor has issued a quarterly report. It provided an update on its work on the SML scandal.
Well, the Office of the Special Prosecutor has actually commenced some investigations into the contractual arrangement between Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited, a company registered in Ghana, and also the Ghana Revenue Authority for the stated objective of enhancement of revenue assurances in the downstream petroleum sector. Now, we know that also includes the upstream production sector as well, issues relating to minerals and mineral resource value chain, which is part of the contract that was awarded. The initial investigations is also based on a complaint filed on the 18th of December 2023 by the Fourth Estate, which was led by Manasseh Azuri and the team that produced the documentary. So far, these are the details that we're learning on this agreement between SML and the Ghana Revenue Authority, and the status at which the investigations of the OSP is at currently.
The KPMG audits, the 2-week period the president gave them to carry out the work has elapsed.
Now, our sources are also telling us that KPMG is yet to actually submit a managerial report to the president. We do understand that there's more work to be done, and also we are reliably informed that they have asked for an extension of time to allow the company extend their work. So far, that's the detail we have on whether or not KPMG is done with their audit.
All right, my colleague Michael Ashele joins me via Zoom with more from the responses. Now, Michael, let's start with the background to this contract. Michael, I wanted for you to start with us on the background to this contract. So, I mean, this is about the SML agreement that the Fourth Estate investigated into to reveal some very, some grave findings about a new contract that the company had been given to ensure that they deal with revenue losses in the mining sector as well as the upstream petroleum and gas sector. That brought a lot of issues, and the president caused the contract to be suspended and ordered KPMG to conduct an investigation into this. And they've come up with, they've asked for more time, but the OSP has also gone into it. Now, the Minerals Commission as well as the Petroleum Commission have all come up with information with regards to this, because the investigative journalist Manasseh Azure-Awini required them to provide some information. They've all said that they are not aware of this contract between the GRA and the SML. Now, my colleague Michael Ashele has joined us via Zoom with some details. Michael, start with us on the background to this contract.
So, Brace, we know that the SML contract was awarded to the company by the Finance Ministry and the Ghana Revenue Authority and entitles SML to more than $100 million every year for the duration of the contract. Now, the GRA explained that the contract is for 5 years. Okay. And the contract has since been suspended for about 2 weeks ago by the President, Akufo-Addo, and appointed an international audit and accounting firm, KPMG, to audit the contract and submit a report in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Now, the Minerals Commission, has been responding to this. What have they been telling the Fourth Estate?
So, Brace, let me start by reminding you that the Minerals Commission has been charged by law to do this sort of work. Now, it is the government agency with the primary responsibility of developing and coordinating mineral sector policies and monitoring their implementation. So in effect, any such contract must come to its attention somehow. The Fourth Estate wanted to know if they were aware of the contract since it falls under their ambit. Now, in terms of what was written to them and their response, this is exactly what we know. So they tell the Fourth Estate that they do not have any report to deliberately or accidentally calculate the revenue, good revenue, as they have been asked about. Again, the Minerals Commission says they do not play any role in the award of the contract. The Commission tells us that they do undertake regular or special audit from time to time as per its mandate to deal with such issues, and they do not collaborate collaborate with other government or public institutions to also do that. It goes on to give us some more response. It says that, or as indicated earlier, the Minerals Commission together with other state agencies also work to do some audit into the sector that falls within their purview. The government has the authority or power to commission audits at any time to deal with such matters. The Petroleum Commission says should be in the position to answer that as a question specifically referring to the Petroleum Commission, and will be grateful if Port Estate can reach out to the Chief Executive of the Petroleum Commission. And we've heard some of those from them.
All right. Thank you very much, Michael Ashele. So those are the responses from the Minerals Commission and the Petroleum Commission as well. This is still the Joy News Prime. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more. Back now, mobile money subscribers call on government to initiate the promised protection against fraudsters after many have fallen victim to scams. Government's effort to combat the rising tide of mobile money fraud requiring users to compulsorily link their SIM card to their Ghana card was hailed as a move to curb fraudulent activities that had become a growing concern in the mobile money sector. It was expected that tying each SIM card to a verified identity could thwart fraudulent activities, protect users, and maintain the integrity of financial transactions. In the following feature, Michael Asel reports that the Momo fraudsters continue to prey on the unsuspecting public.
Money fraud has now become so pervasive. The motive is varied, but the bottom line is to get money from you. These deceptive schemes often commence with a seemingly ordinary text message, characterized by glaring grammatical errors. Spelling errors and poor construction in fraudulent messages might just be a deliberate strategy employed by cyber criminals.
When you see the bad spelling, it is not as if they can't spell.
Dr. Kenneth Ashigbe, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications, suggests that the use of poor grammatical constructions by the fraudsters is just an attempt to circumvent their new artificial intelligence-enabled system.
The confirm, maybe the R that is there, they will make it an S. They will change a few of the things in there so that once the AI is crawling it, he sees it, it's not what it is that he's looking for. So, but fortunately for us now, we're beginning to use AIs. So what the AIs do is that once they see all of this, they learn. So they start seeing the spelling mistakes that you want to beat them.
Other times, these fraudsters will call you with promises to lure you to send them money. Rose and Okwe have been victims of cyber fraud.
And when they called me, they said they've sent me some amount of 400 cedis. So I should check by dialing my PIN. So then I was very curious. The moment I just dialed my PIN code, they just took the money. And later on, I called them to beg them that please, the money was for something important. They should send the money back to me. But they refused. And I called MTN. MTN told me they would get back to me, but nothing.
Now, they pose as agents of some of the mobile networks under the guise that you were a lucky winner of a draw.
I'm Linda Ofori. Our calls are recorded for education and training purposes. So for detailed understanding, are you okay with the English or should I speak to you in any local dialect?
Oh, but you are already communicating in English.
From enticing phone calls promising rewards to posing as mobile network agents, the aim of the scammers is simple. Extract your personal information and use them to later impersonate you.
So please, I would like to confirm your AC numbers. Please, what are your AC numbers over there?
What number?
Haven't you received any AC number? Your AC code, please. That is 6 numbers, please.
Okay, but okay, you said I should tell you what it is.
We are verifying it for you, please, so that I can bring it to the office, please. With your Ghana card, that is all, please.
But the message says, do not share.
About it is that there are basic things. Some red flag, one of the red flags is that you've won something. Red flag. Immediately somebody tells you you've won, it's a red flag. And that one about, I have sent you some number, another red flag.
To curb this, government has since 2022 made it compulsory for every SIM card user to link it to their Ghana card for one major reason. By tying each SIM card to a verified identity, government sought to create a system that could thwart fraudulent activities, protect users, and maintain the integrity of financial transactions.
The need for re-registration of SIM cards is obvious. There's a lot of cyber crimes that are committed by people on our networks. With our mobile money system, there's a lot of impersonation, identity theft out there. So for security reasons, it is imperative that we register our SIM cards.
People of all ages endured days of frustrating queues to obtain their Ghana card, the mandatory document for the SIM card re-registration exercise. Subsequently, they faced further frustration, spending additional hours in another line to link their SIM cards to the acquired Ghana card.
I believe if they can do something about it, because there are a lot of people behind me.
However, despite the well-intentioned move, the cyber criminals are undeterred.
They found ways. So now what happens? Generally, some of the new ways that you and I are entitled to 10 numbers that we can register, a maximum. So they will see a few of our friends who do not really understand what these things mean. Give them some 20 CDs, and then they'll go with them and they'll go register the SIMs in their names.
Some SIM card subscribers believe that some employees within the telecom companies collude with fraudsters, sharing the personal information of their subscribers. This shared information, they believe, is then exploited against the unsuspecting subscriber.
I think there are some people in the office, in the MCN office, that works with those scammers. But sometimes, how they even get your number and everything is strange.
Despite the initial challenges posed by mobile money fraud, telecom companies maintain the belief that integrating the Ghana cards with SIM cards will ultimately prove instrumental in eliminating fraudulent activities. Subscribers earnestly hope for a more robust and responsive telecom service when addressing their content related to mobile money, particularly in handling and resolving complaints. For Joy News, Michael Ashale.
Now, the Supreme Court has set the 10th of April to deliver its judgment on whether or not the Food and Drugs Authority's ban on celebrities' endorsement of alcoholic beverages is legal. The FDA in 2015 banned celebrities and well-known personalities from participating in alcoholic beverage advertisements, citing concerns about the protection of minors from alcohol-related influences. But the plaintiff, Mark Darlington Osai, is challenging the prohibition placed on them by the FDA, insisting it unfairly targets the creative art industry, depriving them of a significant income stream. Richard Kwajonyako was in court and has more in this report.
The plaintiff, Mark Darlington Osai, is before the Supreme Court challenging FDA's prohibition on the advertisement of alcoholic beverages by celebrities as well as well-known personalities. According to the FDA, children believe what celebrities put out and anything they are associated with, and allowing celebrities and well-known personalities to endorse or advertise alcoholic beverages will endanger the lives of children. But the plaintiff says the stance of the FDA is unconstitutional and should be struck down by the courts. According to the plaintiff, the FDA's ban is in contravention to Articles 17.1 and 17.2 of the 1992 Constitution. The said articles, the plaintiff says, safeguard equality before the law and prohibit discrimination based on social or economic status, race, and occupation, among others. Mr. Osai, the plaintiff says, should the ban of the FDA be allowed to stay, it would significantly affect the creative arts industry. The court, after listening to the submission of both parties, i.e. the plaintiff and the FDA and the Attorney General on the other hand, set the 10th of April to deliver its judgment. The celebrities are hoping for a win-win judgment by the apex courts. Judge Quay spoke on behalf of the plaintiff.
Judgment does not win has gone our way, so we are just being hopeful that they would hear us, because this is an industry that doesn't just thrive on the works that we put out there. Some of these collaborations with corporate institutions, some of these are...
The populist far-right Alternative for Germany Party, or AfD, reached a new high of 24% in a recent poll, which is fueling discussions about the extent of far and extreme right sentiment within German society and how best to confront it. We'll cross over to Emily Schuthers with our partners, the DW, for more on this. Emily, how close is the AfD to power in Germany, and what does the party stand for?
Well, the latest poll that we saw had the AfD at 24%, which is the highest that we've ever seen it. And we really have seen over the last couple of months a significant surge in the party's support. Now, it's difficult to say whether that would translate to any sort of power on the national level. I think there's still a significant taboo to a party like the AfD being part of the national government. But what we're seeing, particularly in Eastern Germany, where the party is strongest, you're starting to see them winning local level elections, mayoral elections, and with some state elections in these states on the horizon later this year, there is the potential that they could be involved in a state level government. So it's not yet at a position and likely won't be for a long time that they would be at national level power, but there are reasons for concern at the local and state level. And this is a party that was founded in 2013, originally as a Eurosceptic party, but the issue that they have really made their own over the years has been hardline anti-immigration, anti-refugee sentiments, and that is very much the cornerstone of their policy here in Germany.
Now, what would the AFD's plans be if they were to lead the government?
Well, that is among other policies. At the moment, they're pushing back against the government on issues like inflation and rising energy prices. But this anti-refugee sentiment has long been kind of their main focus. And part of the reason that is in the headlines right now is that there was a report out recently showing that members of the AfD took part in a meeting near Berlin where they talked about even more radical plans for what to do with people of foreign origin in Germany, including the idea that they would deport millions of people with foreign origin, including some that have German passports. And so that was not an official party statement, but members of the party were involved in those plans. And it sort of illustrates the extent to which there are quite extreme positions within this party and deeper undercurrents of that extreme view than you see necessarily in the party's public statements.
I'm sure they'll have a lot of these foreigners not agreeing with them. But you mentioned earlier that the AFD was formed in 2013, but has made some grounds. How is Germany dealing with the rise of the AFD?
Really difficult challenge to tackle and question for Germany, because this is a democratically elected party that is at times issuing rhetoric and statements that seem to be quite anti-democratic. And so what do you do with a party that right now is being supported by approximately a quarter of the German electorate? And, there are some constitutional protections in place that can be used against a party like this, whether it's having the domestic intelligence service surveil them, whether it's even banning a party, although I think that's not a position that we're in at the moment. There are discussions about whether something like that could happen in the future, but I think it would be quite difficult to do. But right now what we're seeing is that there are protests against the party, particularly in the wake of this news about this meeting and these sort of secret plans. But it is kind of a crucial question in German society right now, is what can be done to combat some of these sentiments and to combat the momentum for this party.
Let's see how that goes. Well, this is the Joy News Prime. We'll take a quick break or bring you showbiz. Please stay. All right, welcome back. Time for us to do showbiz. And Jacqueline, answer my voice. Yeah, hi, Jackie.
Hi, Kujo.
What's on the table?
All right, now Ghana's music industry boasts of numerous popular artists. Nevertheless, there's a pool of exceptionally talented individuals who may not be in the limelight, but are equally as impressive as the mainstream artists we know today. As the movement to promote Ghanaian music gains momentum, it has become important to delve into the works of these artists. This is a piece by Nasiba Yakubu. Well, we have many more of these artists who are not mainstream artists. Now, for 9 years, she has led Ghanaians to a wonderful time in worship, praise, and thanksgiving with her Awake Experience concert. Well, the Awake Experience concert will be 10 years this year. This year's event will see performances from Nigeria's Mercy Chinwo, Daughters of Glorious Jesus, for the Accra edition, and Akese Brimpong, Kofi Owusu-Pepra, and SP Kofi Sapon for the Kumasi edition. My colleague IB was at the launch, which was held last night at the Holiday Inn Hotel, and has more in this report.
The Awake Experience by Diana Hamilton is celebrating its 10th anniversary this year in Kumasi in Accra. And it's going to be an all-women affair in Accra on the 18th of February and all-men affair in Kumasi on the 25th of February. At the launch, this is how some of the patrons have experienced the Awake Experience.
The experience has been awesome all the time. I mean, when you see her minister of the shows at Sakumono, the church, the ICGC church at Sakumono, the experience is just awesome, and I'm just looking forward to another one. I believe that it's going to be something greater at the 10th anniversary of the event, and I'm looking forward to that.
It's been great all the time. It grows each year, and I would say my experience with Awake is always going there and learning something. So that has been it.
I've been on, I think, 3 times. This will be my 3rd time. I've done Accra, I've done Kumasi, and we're going back to Kumasi. Yeah, and I've seen Diana do it back to back for 10 good years, a decade of experience. And for me, I just want to congratulate her for keeping the fire burning, keeping the work going. 10 good years.
So why will Diana Hamilton have in Accra an all-women affair and in Kumasi an all-men affair?
And listen, no, we didn't plan it, but when we realized we thought we might as well just let it look as though we planned it like that. We didn't plan it, no. So when I was saying the strategically thing like that, we didn't plan it. But when we realized it was like that, we thought, okay, God must be up to something. He has a sense of humor.
Oh, okay. So it was after you decided on that,
Yeah.
before you got to
we realized that
Kumasi is only men.
Accra is only women. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Doing of the Lord indeed.
It's the doing of the Lord.
What has been your experience out of this 10-year experience?
That not to limit my God. That when it looks impossible, that's when I know that He's up to something. Like this song, for instance, almost gave up on filming it, blah, de, blah, de, blah. But see what God is doing with it. So yeah, never limits my God.
What should patrons expect on the 10th?
Great.
On the 10 years. Both Kumasi and
Accra. Amazing things. Don't limit the God that we serve. If you've been to every experience, you know that every experience is better than the former. And that's what God does.
Oh, just as she said, every experience is better than the former. Now, Kojo, exciting news. You remember Global Citizen Festival, right?
Yeah.
Well, it returns to Ghana. Now, in a spectacular revelation, the Global Citizen is back to Ghana. Now, they posted this earlier. It's making a triumphant return to the vibrant streets of Accra, Ghana. Now, the official, they posted on their page that Accra, did you miss us? You have some good news for you. So together with Nana Akufo-Addo, they will be bringing this year's event back to Ghana and also in collaboration with Rwanda. So citizens are very expectant of this. Kojo, I hope you'll be attending.
Let's see.
Well, the official date is not yet out, but we hope that it will be out soon so that people can prep out for that.
Okay, and that's it for Joy News Prime. There's more news on myjoyonline.com. Up next is Prime Business with Emma Davis. You have a great evening.